So I just got out of Pottsville there, and I don't know. I feel like I'm running behind the clock, but maybe I'm not. I might be all right here to make this delivery. Um, the thing that sucks is, you come into a shipper or receiver, and there's one truck in front of you, and it literally takes them 20 minutes to check the one truck in, to get his information, check the truck in, walk around, check the fuel level, open the doors up. That should be like a 5-minute process. In the meantime, you have trucks backing up to the street practically. I don't know, just a little irritated. I feel like I'm running behind because I've took it easy all day. Just due to the fact, last night I got stuck at CNS Foods over in Abilene, Maryland, and I feel like I'm just drained a little bit. So I took a nap. I went food shopping. The things that you think you can get away with, and then near the end of the day, when you get your next load or whatnot, you're like, maybe I shouldn't have took my time. It always ends up working out like that. As long as I can make my 5 a.m. delivery tomorrow morning in Cisco and Rocky Hill, Connecticut, that's all I care about. Anyway, you guys don't care about that. You're here for some content and maybe some insight, suggestions, I don't know, opinions, I guess you could say. I've been thinking, there's a lot of guys dropping out. They're dropping like flies, and it's really tough right now. I don't think it's going to get any worse than this. I sure hope not. I tell you what, if you go on to Freight Waves and stuff and read some of the things that Warner, the CEO of Warner, was saying, it's kind of leveling out, and that's what like Warner and a lot of other mega carriers are projecting, that this is probably the worst it's going to get, and that apparently, supposedly, contracts are supposed to renew, and they're going to try to push rates back up. Because to be honest, guys, the mega carriers are the ones that kind of control the rates. I know everyone says, the small guys, the owner-operators and stuff, we're the ones that can get rates back up, don't take cheap freight and everything. But the mega carriers, they make these large deals, and these deals are recorded by Freight Waves and whatnot, their contracts with their customers. And DAT watches all that, and that's how the pricing index is probably calculated. It's probably not the entire market. They probably, like I said, DAT has a bigger stake with their brokerage side than they do with the owner-operators and the smaller fleets, or even the larger fleets. They all their money comes from the brokerage side, from them. What do you want to call it? Integrating with brokerage software and all that other stuff. That's where the big money is, and that's who their real customers are. We're just extra, sauce on the side for their pockets, I guess you could say. We're just padding their wallet. That's all we do for DAT. And that being said, a lot of the sneaky out with the radar gun. You don't see too many Pennsylvania street troopers doing that. Like I said, a lot of the rates are going to be based, probably in the broker's favor. Like I've said it before, sometimes I think that hot mat on DAT is either lagging behind, or they might even manipulate it. I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying the way it goes sometimes with the hot map and everything, it sometimes seems like it might be a little bit manipulated. Like when they think rates are getting too high somewhere, they try to bring in a lot of trucks and try to help out their brokerage friends, I guess you could say. I don't know. This is all conspiracy theory. Like I said, this is my opinion. Is it true? Is it not? Who knows? Because it's not like it's open source software. It's it's their proprietary software, and you're not going to know anyway. Who knows? Maybe if someone actually gets a DAT contract and breaks down and reads the entire thing, you might find out. They might even stipulate in that. But who's going to read? I don't know how many pages that probably that little contractual agreement when you sign up for DAT is. I'm sure there's some kind of long contractual agreement. It might even be in there. You don't know. I know they probably take your information and they sell it out and use it for data and stuff like that. But you know, I'm jumping off topic. I'm going off on a conspiracy theory, I guess you want to call it. But you know, guys that are having a hard time right now, I would hope by now, since we've been in this now almost a year of these pretty low ass rates, I'm hoping that you guys figured out something to try to either bring up your profit or lower your costs. Because if you're still struggling, like extremely struggling, it might be time for you to hang up your hat and get a company job. Unless you're willing to take some really big risks. Hence, look at the truck I'm in, the account I'm on. You know, you might have to do something drastic. You know, if you're in that mood or that I don't know, the divot rut. If you're in that rut of just wanting to run the spot market and, you know, pick your own loads and nobody can tell me what to do. I'm my own man. I can pick my own loads. You know, if that's really how you feel about it and everything, then I don't know what to tell you. You're not gonna make it. So there's a tractor mowing and he's like in their lane, so I wanted to make sure I was over far enough that nobody decided to run into me, I guess you could say. If you're stuck in a rut of constantly always being like, I'm my own boss, I use the load boards, that's it, I pick my own loads, I go where I want and everything, and you're not able to make that change or to actually follow through with it, like get on with a dedicated carrier and just run, be out 3 or 4 weeks at a time, and you're hurting and you're complaining to everybody that you're hurting, you're wasting your breath and you're wasting everybody's time, because obviously you're not going to go 150% into your business and you're not going to succeed. You're eventually either going to have a catastrophic breakdown, run out of money, something's going to happen and it's going to put you under, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go on YouTube or Facebook and you're going to complain to everybody that, you know, the brokers screwed me, blah, 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 this and this. Did you actually go out there and make a change? Did you come out of your little safe space and try? If that's really what you want to do, if you really want to be an owner operator, to grow your fleet or grow into a fleet, I should say, and run a business, you're going to have to make sacrifices sometimes. If you didn't set yourself up in the beginning of this gold rush and put the money away and didn't grow too fast to where you brought on a lot of debt. Now, sometimes with business, some debt is good. If the debt is actually profiting you more than what you're paying, you know, in payments and stuff, or interest, then yeah, that's good. But when things hit the fan, when shit, I was say shit hits the fan. I'm trying to clean up a little bit, but when shit hits the fan, and you're left with you're holding that basket of debt. It was good at the time, and now you just have these large payments that you can't make. Well, now that debt is bad debt. It's not profiting you. It's hurting you. It's probably gonna totally wipe out your cash flow, and that's a big thing in trucking, cash flow. If you can't keep cash flow up, and that's why we have factoring companies and everything. If you can't keep your cash flow coming in to cover these huge payments and breakdowns and God knows, you know, what else happens in trucking, we've all been there, you're going to go under. I'll admit, I am, you know, I screwed up at this. Don't just take out business credit cards and other things to try to keep yourself afloat. Make a decision inside your head. How much is enough? how far are you going to go investing into this until you're like, I'm not doing something right, I need help, and either seek out help before you dig yourself a huge hole, or stop digging the hole and back out of the hole and go do something else. If, to be honest, I've dug myself a really big hole. Right here's a, when I'm done paying for it, probably a $250,000 hole I dug myself by the time I'm done paying for it. You know, that besides all the other stuff I did, the credit cards that I used to try to fix the truck, and you know, my old 9400 and stuff. Like I said, sometimes you gotta know when to hold them, and you gotta know when to fold them, and that's up to you to decide. And to be honest, it's up to how far you're willing to go, how far you're willing to invest yourself, your time, and sacrifice things like your family for your business. Now, I have kids and everything, and I like to think that they understand, they know why I'm gone now, like 2 or 3 weeks at a time. But do they really? I don't know. I know my little girl misses me. I know my son misses me. It's just what I got to do right now. My wife kind of understands it, even though she's stressed out at home. She's working too, and having to deal with the kids and everything. And as long as nothing really bad doesn't happen, you know, I won't get a mouthful out of her, if you know what I mean. If everything stays chill at home, and she, you know, she can actually get it, you know, put her, I guess, you know, put her problems or what's happening at the house beside her, and take care of it, and not confront me about it. Anybody with a family that's, you know, an over the road trucker, or a guy that's out a few days a week, or heck, even sometimes if you're local, you'll understand what I'm saying if you're married and you have children and stuff. That too. I hate to. I know it's you try not to mix business and personal together, but ultimately, if my wife really came out and said that, you know, it's either us or trucking, and make a decision, she, you know, and she's, as long as she's not going to bitch about the money, you know, that's the first thing I'll bring up. As long as she's not going to bitch about the loss in profits, and, you know, the loss in money coming into the house, then that's fine. If that's really what she wants me to do, that's what I'll do. I'll sell the truck, I'll give it back or whatnot, and, you know, that's what I got to do. Now, you got to also make that decision. You got to hope that you have this is turning all kinds of different stuff, business and the personal life and stuff. You got to hope that you have a understanding, intelligent, comprehending wife or partner, 2023 partner at home, and they can understand, you know, what's going on, and why you're doing what you're doing, and why you're trying to support your family. Now, if you can go out somewhere and make the same kind of money you can make as an owner-operator, and when I mean make the same kind of money, I mean when you're doing good as an owner-operator. Not now. Not when you're almost failing. Those days aren't really supposed to come, but they do. Hence, what's going on now with everyone in the market. But if you can get through the personal hurdles, if you can get through the self-destruction, I guess you can say sometimes, you know, if you can keep yourself, like, let's say you do go out and you work 3 or 4 weeks, all right, you're on the road and you were hurting already, you know, you're in this market, and you actually start netting $4,000 or $5,000 and whatnot again, or, you know, maybe they're not the $7,000 or $8,000 nets or the $10,000 nets that we're seeing, but if you start netting, like, let's say $4,000 or $5,000, which should be about a pretty good medium range for an owner-operator. Like I said, opinion here again. If you're not making, I would say, over $2,800 netting at the end of your expenses, why you become a company driver with a good company. A lot of good companies, you can at least net $2,000, $1,800. You have the benefits. All that's taken care of. You don't have to pay your own insurance and stuff. You don't have to set up your own 401k. just become a company driver if you can't net like if you can't net more than $2,500 to $2,800, that range there. Because it's, you will have weeks that happens, but if you consistently, like some of these lease purchase guys, they're like netting like $800 a week. I hope you don't have a family. I hope you're single. I hope you just live in that truck and you don't have like a new car and an apartment and all this stuff. I hope your goal is to just pay that truck off and either stay with that carrier or go on and hopefully you learned enough and go on your own and you took care of that truck and it's not ran out by the end of your lease. Because I see some of these lease purchase guys that are making like $1,000 a week net, and they still got to take taxes out and everything else. You can go do a warehouse job and make that amount of money. They think they're going to have the truck at the end of the lease. At that point, you'd be better off working a warehouse job and taking $100 or $200 out a month and just sticking in a savings account until you get $5,000 saved up. I keep thinking that, if you're a lease purchase, most likely you're a new driver, but that's not always the case. Or if you have your CDL, work for somebody that pays decent and put $200 or $300 away a month. Eventually, you'll save up a couple $1,000s in a year, maybe two, and you'll be able to go down the Load Mountain and get your own truck. Hopefully, everything goes all right because you're not going to have much to fall back on. Like I keep saying too, the trucking business is a luck game sometimes. It's a flip-flop between luck and timing and about who you know. A lot of this business, if you don't have the right connections and make the right networking with people, you're going to fail too. Or you're at least not going to grow. Like I said, this is all over the place because it's just stuff popping in my head, guys. I know it might not make sense, but what's happening is I'm thinking of things like I said, how the personal aspect came into the business. I'm thinking of things personally, like things I've had happen with, just with my business and me personally. And I know other guys go through the same shit. And I'm just thinking about what comes up, just like the lease purchase. I've done a lease purchase before. And like I said, I thought the same exact way. If I'm not going to net at least $2,000 or $3,000, what's the point of me being here? Will I actually be able to get the truck at the end of the lease? Is it going to be worn out by then? Will I be able to make money at least a year or two with it before something maybe major happens? And that's the way you got to think. When this market does come back, the people that are going to win in this market right now are the people that didn't take on huge amount of debt, did not grow exponentially, guys that were smart, grew small, but just enough to make an extra profit when the gold rush was going on, and are sitting on some cash right now. Because they're going to come, all you guys are quitting, they're going to come to these auctions, and they're going to buy these trucks on pennies on the dollar. And probably some of them even new, like pretty new trucks. I'm seeing 2019, 2020 Volvos. 400, 500,000 miles on them. Going at auction for $38,000, $40,000. That's a steal. Compared to where truck prices were before, that's a steal. So, they're going to come in, they're going to buy all this extra equipment, and when the market does come back, which it will, it's probably not going to be this year. I will put it out there. This year's going to suck. The busy season's going to suck. I don't think we're going to see a Christmas rush or any of that crap going on because, the economy too. And they're going to be the first ones to the finish line, really. That's what's going to happen. They're going to beat everybody out when this market comes back. They'll have the equipment to grow. They'll be able to go to these shippers and be like, hey, I got 20 trucks. I got 40 trailers right now. I can make a deal. We can get going. They're going to be the ones that are going to profit through this. Then when when the market, like I said, when the market does come back, they're not going to be shoveling money hand over fist, but they're going to be growing steadily. It's like the tortoise and the hare analogy. It's just what this market does. A lot of new guys came into this and they just thought this is how it is. Just hand over fist money, because all the hustling that goes on YouTube, all the guys that come out here and say, buy my product, you'll make millions this, millions that. Heck, I just read an article or a post about a lady that kind of got scammed into some flim flam thing where you don't really own the trucking business, but you'll invest in like a truck and driver into somebody else's business, and they pay you like a weekly amount out of it. There's a bunch of that stuff. There's these turnkey, supposedly on YouTube, there's these turnkey trucking businesses where you just own the business, but somebody else runs it for you, and they hire the drivers and they get the trucks, and you just make a percentage. That's all bullshit. You're not the only one invested in that truck business. They get like 20, 30 other people to do it, and they send them $5,000, and then they flake out. And when they try to sue, they just get their lawyer and say, here's the contract you signed. Business-minded people, these are just normal people that think they're getting a quick buck and they're investing in something quick and easy that they don't have to take care of. Everything's connected in trucking. I sure hope there ain't an accident. Hopefully there ain't an accident on 81. It says there is, but anywho, everything just morphs into one. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 80. I ain't going to take 81 up through Scranton. And like I said, truffling. Trucking is all morphed into one. Everything's connected. Like I said, your personal life's connected to your business. I know they say keep it out, but technically it is. The lease purchase stuff, do your research. Google companies, go onto trucking forums, YouTube, Facebook. Don't get all caught up in the big numbers and the glitterly fancy trucks and the decals and all that stuff. Don't let your ambitions cloud your judgment. To say, if you could, please smash the like button, subscribe. If you really like the content and some of the information I'm giving out, I know it's not super professional. This isn't like I don't know. I would like to be able to speak to you guys a little bit better. Maybe like Sammy does. He does a hell of a job at least explaining himself while he's driving about certain content and bringing things into light and everything like that. And I'm just trying at it right now. So and throw down some of your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if I'm on the right track, if I'm actually bringing any content to you guys that might be worthwhile. Like I said, I don't want to like throw anybody under the bus and say, maybe you should just quit and stuff. But a lot of you guys that might be watching this, you didn't know what you were getting yourself into when you got into this. When you got into the gold rush here and saw rates were coming in, you were just quick investment, and maybe you held in too long and built up too much debt, and now you're drowning in it. And I don't know what to tell you. The only thing you can do is, like I said, sacrifice more and work harder, make better choices, seek out people that might know what they're talking about. Am I going to say that I know what I'm talking about? Probably not. People have already tried calling me out, and I'm not one to try to push forward and say, yeah, I'm right. But like, visit DIY, visit Cash is King, look what F8's doing. There's a whole host of other people that do very well. Just Trucking, sometimes Sammy and stuff. Try to follow people that have been in here for a while and have been at this and are successful. And that's all I gotta say. So I'm gonna get on down here to Cisco, and hope you all have a safe and enjoyable evening, and I'll get back at you.